Before we start, I just want to mention that I call this character King throughout the video. So if you're wondering, no, I'm not referring to King Halo here. I am indeed referring to Verset King, my Uma OC. Maybe it's obvious, but I just want to make sure I set the record straight. Anyway, what's up guys, Dice here, and today we're going to be talking about the next character up on the list of my Uma Musume spin-off. Now we're at Verset King. The real Verset King was born in 2002 out of the stallion Greedy and the mare Ventolera. His name came from his dam sire, Ribot's Verset, hence why I decided to make her look up to Ribot and want to emulate her in her Uma form. Being born in 2002 also makes her the youngest member of the Versets portrayed in this manga, hence why she also looks younger than the others. By the way, you're probably wondering now, hey Dice, how did King already debut and have her signature race wear when Jet in Universe hasn't? And that's a good question. You see, many people make the mistake of assuming that the world of Uma Musume follows our own timeline accurately to the date. A great example of this is how Cinderella Grey is based on events that took place during the late 80s, but the technology level is too advanced for that. There's tons of other examples outside of just the anime too, like how by the end of chapter 5 in the main story in the gacha game, several years have passed in universe, but no one in Team Sirius has visibly aged, nor are there any signs or mention of them graduating or moving up to another grade or any of the things that usually happen when you're in school for many years. But to keep things short, sweet, and to the point, the world of Uma Musume doesn't follow a strict progression of time. It's more like a big ball of wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. Now moving on, the real Verset King's career wasn't exactly as glamorous as the previous characters I've covered. There were tons of hardships and a whole lot of losses. I mean, the poor gal even had the unfortunate circumstance of being born in the same generation as the Puerto Rican Gray Phantom, Borrascoso. Now, that one's another winner of the Caribbean Derby that I'd love to cover someday, but I'm getting way ahead of myself. Let's focus on the Versets for now. King did win multiple graded races, which is still a very impressive achievement, mind you. King is still very much a top racer. I personally don't subscribe to the mentality that you need to win X amount of G1s before you're considered worth talking about. But yeah, her generation was just too stacked to say the least. If I ever get around to designing her career mode, I'd have to include tons of others from her gen to really show off how stacked the competition was. So she'd definitely be towards the bottom of the list, simply from the sheer amount of work that would have to go in. But to go over her personality real quick, she's very optimistic, loves the Versets, and is really motivated to be the next entry in that chapter and inherit that birthright, to put it in royal terms, I guess. But ultimately, she ends up realizing just one, how horribly outclassed she is in terms of competition and just her own physical limitations. So long story short, I take what every self-respecting writer would do, which is take a very cute anime girl and break her. So for her design, I had in mind either white or blonde hair. Despite the fact that this doesn't match up with the look of the real King, it was because, one, I want to make sure she stood out from the other Versets in terms of looks. And if I go with white, it would match the color of her mask IRL. I'm not sure about white though, since I wouldn't want to give the wrong impression that King was a gray horse. Especially since there's another gray horse in her gen that was definitely a big winner, as I have already mentioned. For her G1 armor, I wanted a look similar to the suits from King Oger, something that gave off a more royal vibe, hence why she has a cape. Unlike Ribot, I made sure to specify that she'd look more heroic. And of course, King's jockey silks IRL were a dark green and white, so unlike the others, I don't have to worry about her looking too samey in terms of color scheme. That's a big plus that having her in. I think this is a good time to bring this up. While having a large cast of characters is a good idea in a video game, for this short manga series, it does feel rather overwhelming to have this many, to say the least. Originally, this was just gonna be Jet, her trainer, maybe Dancer for all of 2 chapters, if even that. And speaking from a sort of objective standpoint, it is a good idea to cut off anything and anyone that doesn't impact the main plot in any meaningful way. However, I really wanted to see how everyone would turn out if I get their designs done and put them in the story. So I made the decision to completely ignore that writing advice. And the crazy part is that this isn't even all of them. In my design notes, I had a 5th member called Verset's Gold. And the real Verset's Gold, while she didn't win any races, she was a successful broodmare according to the sources I found, and continued the Verset line from her dam, Verset's dancer. For her Uma self, I had in mind someone that found success outside of racing by being sort of an assistant trainer and the armor mechanic of the family. So think someone like Bell No Light from Cinderella Grey mixed in with a bit of Dr. K from Power Rangers RPM. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. That should be it for the character profiles for the Verset arc. Next up would be behind the scenes on how the chapter was made, where I get to show everyone my glorious storyboard placeholder of what I had in mind for the chapter. If you want to know when that shows up, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios.